teaching your infant daughter Mandarin. You're clearly invested in the country. Do you have a China hedge?
A hedge. Well, I own other currencies and I own shares in other places. I do speak English. My daughter also speaks English as well. In the sense that you're thinking, no, I don't. I don't have any shorts in China. I don't have any shorts that would benefit from a blow-up in China. I certainly expect there to be blow-ups in China, just as there were in America as we rose to power and glory. But
when will there be a blow-up in
China?
China?
I have a clue. You tell me. I don't know.
Why?
I wish I were that smart.
What would cause it, do you think? What's the most likely trigger for a blow-up here?
Well, I guess something stupid could happen in Taiwan. You know, the Taiwanese they keep acting like idiots, and everybody says it couldn't happen, it couldn't happen. Nobody would benefit from that. But, you know, politicians for centuries have done really stupid things.
So you blame Taiwan for the situation of the tensions across the strait? You think it's Taiwan's fault, not
the ones
Beijing's?
right now, yes, the ones right now. The madman running Taiwan is causing in my view, is causing the tensions. And
not the hundreds of missiles that China has pointing at Taiwan?
Well, Taiwan's got a few missiles pointing this way, too. I mean, those missiles have been there for several decades, so that's not anything new. What's new is that the leader in Taiwan keeps saying absurd things, in my view. Now, China says absurd things back, there's no question. But that's what I mean. It just takes one politician to do something stupid, then another politician will do something stupid too. You know, it doesn't take much to get these things going. I don't expect this to happen, but something foolish could happen from Taiwan. I don't see any other problems on the immediate horizon. There's the major problem in China, in my view. I don't worry about political turmoil. I don't worry about economic hard times. I don't worry about people going bankrupt. Pollution I don't worry about, because pollution they'll clean up. Even war. War is not going to be the end of the China story. Everybody's had wars and everybody's gotten over wars. Not that they're good, but everybody does get over them. The thing that worries me about China is water, because all of northern China is running out of water. And I've been around the world a couple of times, Jamil, and I have seen societies that have disappeared, cities that have disappeared, nations that have disappeared because the water disappeared. You can drive out into the Chinese desert and you'll see whole cities that are ghost towns now. And by the way, in India too, you can see the same. All over the world you can see it. India and China both, northern India and northern China both have serious, serious water problems. India worse than China. And if China doesn't solve its water problem, that would be the end of the China story. Now, that's not something that's going to happen overnight. We're all going to wake up one day and say, China's finished because there's no water. But that would happen over the years. But that is something that I certainly worry about.
So, is that a business opportunity? Can you invest in water companies? Or
I have a book coming out called A Bull in China that in there I talk about various sectors of the Chinese economy. Not making recommendations to any of them because it's not a book of hot tips. But in there I talk about the water problem in China. I mentioned some companies that may or may not address the water problem. So I think it's a spectacular opportunity. Not just in China, water worldwide is becoming a huge issue. But with China and India right now, it is going to be life or death event down the road over the next decade or two. So they're huge opportunities.
The title of your latest book is A Bull in China, but you yourself don't actually live in China. Can you tell us why you don't live here?
We would like to live in China. My daughter, who's 4, speaks perfect Mandarin, and we looked at several Chinese cities to live in, but the pollution is so horrible in the ones we'd like to live in that we just couldn't bring ourselves to do it. Shanghai, Hong Kong, Beijing, we'd love to live in those cities, but I don't want to breathe the air, and I don't want my family breathing the air, so we just have to pass. When they clean up the air, maybe we'll move here, but that's going to take a while.
How long?
It can be cleaned up. Well, it can be cleaned up. When I first moved to New York, I can remember if you left your windows open, you'd come home and there'd be soot everywhere. It was just filthy, the air was. Now, America got agitated about bad air. The American citizenry got agitated, cleaned up the air, cleaned up the water. It took 10 or 15 years. China's attacking it now. You go out into the streets, you see people wearing masks, you see people complaining about the pollution all the time in China. And the Chinese government understands it too, and they know they have to clean it up, and they've started spending huge amounts of money. There are great investment opportunities there for somebody.
Like what?
Well, water companies, pollution companies. I own shares in several of them. And somebody's going to make a lot of money. You know, Singapore is a place that 50 years ago was a swamp. They've developed quite a thriving water industry because they had to take care of their own situation. They're putting a lot of money into an effort into China. So there are plenty of people making efforts to clean up China in every way.